Hi guys, so right now I'm going to teach you how to write your chapter 4, which is your data analysis and your discussion. Now basically this section of the paper will come after your methodology and literature review section. So please make sure that you complete those two sections first, and of course you have completed your survey and your interview before proceeding with your data analysis and discussion. I personally feel that this is the most fun chapter to write on because you get to interpret your data. Now, just as the title suggests, data analysis and discussion. So in this chapter, you'll be doing both analyzing the findings and also your discussion. If you are not sure how to, where to look for your pie charts or your bar graphs, in the Google Doc forms that you created, one of it would be the question and the other tab would be on responses. If you click that tab, it will show you the overall response for your survey, and for our class I have set it at 20. If it's more, it's up to you, but if you're happy with the number, please go to your original Google Doc link and close the form so that we don't have any more changes, since that we have to start our data analysis now. Alright, so with your data analysis, what you need to know is, based on how many questions you have posted in your survey, you are to report the same amount of questions in your data analysis. What do I mean by that? If you remember the other day, I mentioned to you, the more questions you write or you ask, the longer your chapter 4, your data analysis section will be, because in your data analysis section, you are to report every single question that you have asked in your survey. So it includes age, location, education level, background, every single thing, from the first question to the last question. So if let's say you have 15 questions altogether, your data analysis will have 15 questions reported. So if you have around 40 or 100, you are to report every single one of them, which is why I mentioned to you to be very cautious of your questions, because we are pressed in time, so we don't really, pressed for time. So we don't really have enough buffer time to correct all our mistakes and all that. So basically, you must report every question, and every time you report, this is how your page will look like. So let's just say this is your page. You will do this in your Google Doc link in your research thread. You will have pie charts. You will also have bar graphs. And some of you had open-ended question where you ask an opinion-based question and someone would write you a short paragraph. So I will cover all of that in this video. Now let's move on to the first type of question, which is something that most of you would have done for your survey anyways. So when you're typing your section 4, data analysis, one of the most important things that you need to do is to tell me how many people answered this survey and to put me the question. So it's really important for you to remember to put the question in the particular page that you're reporting. Also, if you notice, this one question is actually in one page. So that's another thing you need to remember. Every time you report a data, one page, and you have to put this question in there. Because let's just say you did not put the question in there. How would I know what this chart or this graph or this question represents? What does the data represent? So always remember, the question must be in the same page and all of your data will be in one page. Alright, so if you can see here underneath my question, I have yes, no, how many people, and the percentage. This is a representation of what I have here in my pie chart. So you might ask, the number here already says no 18% and yes 82%, so why do I need this? This is a 2 decimal point data, 17.54, but in my pie chart it says 18%. So for the sake of specification, we are putting this up here as well. Some people, they prefer reporting this, some might not put this in. It's really up to you. I would like to train you guys to practice this because it just makes your research paper look more solid, more refined. So after you have placed the question and the data there, you will move on to this short paragraph. This is considered average. Yours might be around probably 4 or 5 sentences, 4 or 5 lines. Of course, you can write something of this sort. It's up to you. It depends on you. But basically, what does this paragraph represent? This paragraph represents this data. So over here, I've mentioned as the question was asked to 171 respondents, yours would be 20, 25, and then I show you and I share with you how many percent the data says. 82% said yes, 18% said no. So the first thing you need to know is when you are reporting this data, the first thing you do is to report what is stated in your chart. Secondly, if you're good at math, you can give me a ratio. This you have to calculate on your own. You can skip this, it's up to you. You can have it there as well, up to you, not a problem. So after that, if you continue reading this, I also mentioned about how some of the questions, it was not applicable. It means that I actually gave yes, no, and not applicable in my questionnaire, but no one picked not applicable. So I would actually put a sentence here that said the survey was not answered because it represented not applicable, and no one said not applicable because they either cheated or they have never cheated before. So let's just say right now you have five different segments for your pie chart. What do? Let's see if we can find an example in your friend's paper. So your senior has this 1, 2, 3, 4. If you have a variety of selection and a variety of answers, you are recommended to pick 2 of the best or 2 of the worst, or 1 of each. I recommend the last one, 1 of the best, 1 of the worst, because then you're covering both spectrum of the finding. So it's up to you guys to decide which one you want to put in, but it only makes sense for you to put the best and also the worst. So when you are actually telling me what is happening in the pie chart, you're not parroting back every single thing in the pie chart. You're picking only the 2 best ones. So, and also one more thing, it's not wrong for you to report all of it in this chart. In fact, you can go ahead and report all 4, but what is the need for it? If the need is because it really answers the question, then go ahead, report everything. But for the sake of convenience and just to get you guys exposed to writing chapter 4, just pick the 2 top and lowest scores of the finding and put it there in your write-up. So in your seniors write-up, there's only 4 lines. Okay, and all they did was actually to put in what the data said. However, if you look at the last sentence, what he said here is, this showed that neither of the people having rainforests were familiar with the topic. This sentence has nothing to do with the findings. So where did they actually get this information? They actually make a conclusion based on what their data says. That is something that you need to remember when you are writing your data. when you're writing your data, after you have represented or reported what your pie chart says, you need to come up with a very general conclusion of what you think is happening here. So first, report everything in the chart. Secondly, you come up with a conclusion why you think this is happening and end it there. So technically, there's only two things that you're doing here. You are actually reporting the pie chart and you're coming up with a summary of what you think the result is like this. Why? Like what contributed to them doing this? Example, probably one of your findings said, oh, I don't know long-tailed monkeys. 90% said they have never seen it, only 10% said they have. So maybe you can say that these people, they have never been to an area where you can find the habitat of these monkeys. It's up to you. You deduce what the data says. Next, when you are reporting pie charts, it's very direct. So what happens if you are reporting a bar graph? So you ask them a few checklist answers. You give them a few checklists for answers, and then the results come out. Again, just like your pie chart, you're not reporting every single thing over here. You'll pick 2 or 3 best ones, or how I like to put it, 2 or 3 outstanding and noticeable results. So you don't want to just pick anything. You want to pick outstanding findings. Like, why is it suddenly 99%? I want to report that. Why is it 60, 20, and then suddenly there's a 2% down there? Those are the things that you want to report. So you're not reporting every single thing here, because if you're reporting every single thing, I might as well just read the graph, correct? So you pick the 2 or 3 top ones. 4 is a little bit too much, I think. It depends on how you write it. You'll pick 2 or 3 top ones, you'll report those, and then you'll come up with a conclusion why you think people gave these as answers. So again, you will report it in a very short paragraph. And if you notice here, I used words like this, and then when I report the top 2 or top 3 reasons why, I'll also put here the percentage. See? The percentage and the percentage. I'll say preparation for exams or quiz, 66%. Okay. Preparation of lack of preparation, 66%. So this is so that it's easier for whoever is reading your research paper. They know, okay, preparation for exam, 66%, pressure of getting good grades, 48%. That way, I don't have to keep scrolling or turning the page to look at this, go back down here and read it. Everything that I need to know is in the same sentence. Okay, now you might ask me, so what if they give me short paragraphs? Same like anything else. You write me the question. Now, here's the trick. Because you have asked a short paragraph answer, you need to read all of the answers and pick probably top 5 or top 10 best answers and write it in bullet forms like so. So in my research, I had 171 people who replied to me. I cannot report everything. So what I did was I would read all of it and pick the best ones, because there will be similar answers from different people. So summarize those and write it here. Please remember that you are allowed to change their grammar, you're allowed to change the sentence structure, but don't change the meaning of the word, alright? So this is why this chapter is called Data Analysis and Discussion, because you are actually reporting back what the data says and then you're coming in with your own input. Please remember to be very creative and critical when you're giving me your input, because this is after all a research and you have done your study, so relate it to whatever you have read. Now let's move on to language.